So this last video is probably should have been filmed first, but I've done it in reverse because this particular bracelet was what started Pandora for me back in 2012. I used to have a friend that was starting to collect them, and I always had an interest because I had some classmates when I was at college doing my preschool teaching that had a Pandora, so I really always wanted one, and I finally managed to get my hands on one in either late 2011 or into 2012. But this bracelet is the original. This is the one that started all. It's this one's fault. I blame it. Not all these beads are brand new. A lot of them are pre-loved because of the age of them. I am aware that there's only one clip at the moment. I have done that purposely though because I need to get an accompanying one for this. When I got this bracelet originally, I filled it up as quickly as I could with things that I thought represented my life. As I've matured and aged, it has changed with me. So the original safety chain and the original clips that I have, I no longer own. I actually did sell them pre-loved. So I've got a new safety chain. This one I do actually have on another bracelet, but I got this to represent my love of space. So this one has now become my personality bracelet also. So being my first Pandora bracelet, it's very special, but also I'm very strict on what goes on here because it represents my personality. These beads are very specific in meaning. Each bead on here has a meaning, so it's not just random beads placed like some of my other bracelets. They are planned out so that they represent something. So starting from this side, I have my Christmas bear. So 2014 was the first year after my brother's passing that I decided to celebrate Christmas, and this bear also reminds me of my uncle. When I was about 18 months old, he got me my first Christmas bear, and that kind of represents both the bear and the celebration of Christmas the first year after my brother's passing. This little guy is a recent purchase. I got him in December of 2021. It's a snake chain. It's a snake on the chain. Sorry, it is a snake chain bracelet. I got him to represent my love of snakes and all things that, go bump in the night, I suppose, because I was a bit of a goth when I was growing up and I loved snakes. I've held snakes. I've admired snakes since I was a child. So I got him to represent that. And also I'm a Slytherin in Harry Potter land, so he's got a double meaning. This little guy was my very first Murano purchase back in, I believe, 2012 or maybe 2013. It represents like my Irish heritage and connecting myself to my brother. So you will see this one does have an underlying theme as well. It does connect me quite a lot to my brother, who was my best friend. The next one up was also purchased at the same time I got the snake. I got it from the same person. So the cup of tea represents like what I don't drink coffee. I can't do coffee. I don't know why. My body just rejects the taste of it. So instead, to get caffeine, I drink black tea. I've always had tea drinkers in my family, such as my mom and my great aunt. So that kind of, goes along with that. Next up we have the Harry Potter scene. So on one side you've got the four houses, and on the side you've got little stars cut out, and then on the other side you've got Hogwarts, the Hogwarts scene. So that's just to represent my nerdy Harry Potter obsession I've had since I was 10 years old. That's very much me. Anyone who knows me knows that I love Harry Potter. I've got all the books, I've got a ton of merch, I've just got a lot of stuff that I really shouldn't have anymore, but I still have on Harry Potter. I was an avid Harry Potter merchandise collector. I collected articles. It was just a point of obsession, I think, so that represents that. This one here is butterflies. So butterflies are the messengers of people who've passed away. So this keeps me connected to my brother. So I will be getting a second one on the other clip station. Eventually. This was purchased the same time I got my Galaxy clip. It originally was going to go on another bracelet, but when I revisited the idea, I liked it better on here. So when I get the second clip, it'll be going on the second clip station on this bracelet. In the middle, everything in the middle here is representative of my brother. So he loved elephants. When we went on one of our first cruises, we went on a total of 2. I think the second one, we're in a place called Lifu, which is in New Caledonia, and there was a massive turtle the size of the wharf underneath the water, and this little guy was actually the very first bead I ever purchased. He was on this bracelet. He's always been on this bracelet. He's never left, so this bead was to represent that. This angel wings, I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory at this time. It's to represent my brother watching over me. The bird is another representation of my brother and I's relationship. So I like sparrows and he liked ravens. So that represents both our loves of those particular birds. This one was pre-loved, purchased the same time I got my teacup and my snake. I was after this for like 10 years. You can see that it's pretty well loved. The previous owner did a really good job of looking after it. It is scratched up, but that happens with age. I'm not too concerned because I have beads that are pretty, scratched and whatnot from age, wear and tear. Like, it's still in pretty good condition. I only paid about maybe $40 for it. I don't actually know how much it was on release. It's genuine Pandora because 925 ALE. I got this specifically for this part of my bracelet. Next up is the cruise ships. So I should clarify that the elephant and the cruise ship are not Pandora. I don't actually know where this ship came from. It was a gift from my sister-in-law after my brother's passing, to represent our cruises. And the elephant is from Michael Hill. I have seen Pandora elephants, but I'm very attached to that one, so I could never replace it. Next up is the dice, the Game of Life, I know there is a game called the Game of Life. I'm not referring to that. I'm referring to the actual game of life where you throw a dice and it feels like you kind of got your fate set out before you. It also has a double meaning. So there's 6 people in my family. My parents had 4 kids. My brother was the oldest and I'm the third born. So that has double meanings. Just happened to work out that way. Next up is my scarab beetle. We both have a love of Egypt. So one day I hope to go there to make a dream of his come true. Next up is my dolphin. I got this from my little sister when I turned 22. It's the only bead she's ever given me, but it represents that as well. Growing up, I was obsessed with dolphins as well, so my sister did good. This bead is the accompanying one to the pre-loved one I was talking about earlier in a previous video. So this one is Candy Snap. It reminds me of, it kind of goes with my bear to remind me, Christmas is not a sad occasion, it's a happy, blessed kind of thing. So candy canes are one of my favorite Christmas things. A peppermint was always my thing, and I always wanted to have the green peppermint candy cane, so that's basically what that is. And the last little guy is my Halloween pumpkin, because I'm obsessed with Halloween. It's my favorite. It's not a holiday here in Australia, but it's my favorite thing to do, spooky, dress up, get to be, something else for a day. That was pretty fun. So this bracelet is a work in progress. I probably am not going to add much more to it apart from the one clip that I want to put on the station here to keep this symmetric. And the bracelet is pretty old, so wear and tear, it's loosened up, it's done all wonderful things. You can see that it's still pretty good considering the age of the bracelet being almost 10 years old and the amount of beads that have been packed on and removed over the years. The snake chain itself is holding up pretty well. This one here is probably completed as well. It's not really, in terms of, there's still plenty of space on here. I could probably get a few more beads, but I don't really think it needs to be added onto apart from the accompanying clip. So it is very much a mix of old Pandora and very newer sort of Pandora, the most recent being this bead.